Ben, first we said the Giants were good. Then we said they were not so good. Then we said they were slightly above average. What are we going to say this week?
I don't know. We'll think of something.
But I mean, we got to pick one though, don't you think? I mean, or is it just or are we just going to waffle all season long?
Well, that's my plan. I don't know what your plan is. Usually you're just like, oh, they're so good. They're so good. That's what you do. You go, they're so good. They're so good. And then like in the middle of August, you just have a big nervous breakdown and you just go off the rails and you're just like, they're bad. I can't believe they're so bad. And I'm like, I've been telling you this for 4 years.
In my defense, Ben, I do represent the average San Francisco Giants fan. Okay. I mean, I'm not the only one feeling that way.
Right. Well, I'm representing the old men.
The old crotchety men. Yes. And you do that really well.
Right.
You do that really well.
And not just the old men. Like, I know there's those of you who don't classify yourself as old or men that feel the same way as I do, but you're old men at heart. And so that's who I represent. I represent those who doubt. The doubters.
All right.
But yeah, I think they're back to being good.
Okay. I agree. I bet you Bob agrees too.
Bob, do you agree?
The Giants are rolling. The vibes are flowing. It's time for Giant Cocktails. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Oh, Bob agrees that the Giants are good.
The vibes are flowing, Ben.
The vibes are flowing all the way into episode 293 of Giant Cocktails. Matthew, did you know that Brett Butler hit 293 over 3 seasons, 1988 to 1990, where he received down-ballot MVP votes in each of those 3 seasons? He led the league in hits with 192 in 1990. And he made the last out in the 1989 World Series.
Oh, yeah. See, I wouldn't have thought that. But
you're welcome.
little other tidbit. But I feel like Brett Butler doesn't get enough love in Giants lore. I mean, he was a good Giant.
Yeah,
Part
he
of
was
it
a
might have
pretty
been
good
the fact
Giant.
that he was probably better known as being an Indian before, and then he went to the Dodgers after. So it's a little hard to kind of give him love when they go straight to the Dodgers. But he was a good Giant. I liked watching him play.
I mean, he was the first leadoff hitter for the Giants that I fully remember. You know, that's because children don't start forming memories until they're 12 years old, right?
Right.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Especially kids who are slow.
Hey, I was one of the fastest kids. Oh, I see what you mean. You're right. And then I just demonstrated it too.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
Thank you for saving me, Bob. Yes, let's talk cocktails.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Oh, good question, Bob. I have no idea, but I have 4 options. Hold on while I pull up a random number generator between 1 and 4.
Really? That's what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Do we have 3 or 4 days to pick out a cocktail?
I had to do Dad's taxi, and I got home late, and I didn't have time to make squat. So I just grabbed a bunch of ingredients that I knew could result in something, and I brought them into my closet with me. You know what? I often do that on days when I'm not recording a podcast. just bring them in.
Don't leave till they're empty.
Yeah. And the family's like, oh, Dad's closet door is closed. He must be recording a podcast. I'm just under my table that I have in here, drinking.
All right, what does the number generator say?
Oh, right. Right. It says 4.
Oh, I know what that means.
Oh.
Yes, the big O.
Is the letter that it starts with. And then Bob, today I'm drinking an Orgasm, I guess.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm bringing back an old classic. For reasons. Called the Elder Flores.
Ooh.
You could probably guess the reason why I'm bringing back this classic. But that's what I'm drinking, Bob. The Elder Flores. I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
Is it because you like old flowers, Matthew?
No, it's because Wilmer Flores is the best baseball player on the planet.
He might be. Anyway, today is Sunday, May 18th, as we record this podcast. Your San Francisco Giants defeated the City-less and pitiless Vagabonds 3-0 to bring their record to 28-19. And that means they are now tied once again with the San Diego Padres for second place in the National League West, one game behind the best team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers, blah, 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 blah.
Best team in baseball, Detroit Tigers?
Yeah, the actual best team in baseball, Scott Harris's Detroit Tigers. You know, a lot of teams have moved up. Like it's getting top heavy here at the top of the old Major League Baseball standings, Matthew. The Tigers have 31 wins. Then it's the Dodgers with 29, tied with the Mets with 29, one ahead of the Phillies with 28, one ahead of the Padres with 27. Oh, but the Cubs and the Giants also have 28. But because they played more games than other people, they're further back in the standings. The Yankees are up there with 27. Then there's a bunch of teams with 26. Yeah, it's getting crowded. Teams got to start differentiating themselves. Teams got to start getting their star players to step up. Such as the San Francisco Giants. And they also got to play some loser teams like the Vagabonds, because that helps too.
It does help.
Helps too. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about the Vagabond series, and then we're going to talk about the stars of the San Francisco Giants. Which San Francisco Giants are the stars? Which San Francisco Giants are jersey worthy? And we recognize that this is a personal choice, and we all like who we like, but there are definitely wrong and right answers to this, and Matthew and I are going to tell them to you. But before we do that, we have some tidbits to discuss.
Yes, we do.
As I said last week, sometimes I make mistakes. For example... I accidentally referred to a 3-strikeout game as a golden sombrero and a 4-strikeout game as a platinum sombrero some weeks ago. And I realized that, no, it's 4 strikeouts as golden and 5 is platinum. But, you know, inflation. That's what I'm blaming. So I'm saying technically I was right. So, see, I sometimes get things wrong.
Okay, this is a long way of like trying to explain your way out of my question for you.
But sometimes I find weaselly ways to get around them or avoid confronting them at all.
It just dawned on me, Ben, this week as I'm watching Heliot Ramos lead off with a home run today and then have the game-winning hit later, and really over the last month just being one of the best players in baseball. I have this recollection of you going on a rant more than once, calling Heliot Ramos a, quote, never will be. And so I just thought that we should talk a little bit about that because I enjoy watching you eat humble pie.
Pie. Look. First of all,
waiting.
First of all, yes, I said it. I said it because he was not good. He was not good for multiple call-ups. And I'm not the only one that felt that way. Remember, last year, they left him in AAA. And they only called him up when everybody on the outfield got hurt. And he was the last guy in all of the organization who could play outfield. And they were like, fine, we finally got to call him up. And they reluctantly and begrudgingly put him in the lineup. And haven't taken him out since. Because he became the Heliot Ramos that we know today. The Heliot Ramos that I will tell you that I called a borderline MVP at the beginning of this season and declared as another likely all-star at the beginning of this season. So I was right.
Okay, you were right and you were wrong. Both can be true.
Both can be true.
I think the thing to take away from here is that podcasting is hard, that sometimes you got to say things just because you need to say something.
That's true. That's true. I actually don't find it difficult to say ridiculous things that probably upset our listeners.
No, you do not. You do not find it difficult
it's really easy for me, in fact. Yeah, I do it with great ease. I do it with great ease. Speaking of doing ridiculous things, it is finally happening, Matthew.
I can't believe that you've waited this long to get, we're like 14 minutes in and you haven't mentioned it yet.
I'm amazed that it took this long for this to happen.
That's a good point.
It's not my fault. Like, you give me grief about 14 minutes. What about those fools that waited 2 months for this? Yes. Hayden Birdsong is getting his first start of the season. They have officially switched him and Jordan Hicks's roles on the team. Hicks to the bullpen, Birdsong to the rotation. Hayden will be starting in 2 days?
Tuesday.
Or 1 day?
Yeah, on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Hayden Birdsong for Cy Young.
Whoa! Whoa, Bob! I mean, maybe now. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. He's got a shot now.
The thing I'm kind of surprised about this whole thing, Matthew, was that, Hicks wasn't so great in his last start, right? Once again, whatever. All of the apologists are like, he's been unlucky. Yeah, he was unlucky again in his last start. And here comes Birdsong, right? And this was it. This was his opportunity. Just do what you've been doing all of the rest of the season, and the job is yours, kid.
And he gave him a couple of home runs.
He looked not good. Not good. So that was kind of a letdown. And I hope that's not what happens in his next game. But you know what? I'm confident that it won't. I think we're going to see great things out of Hayden Birdsong, and I'm going to confidently predict that it's all sunshine and rainbows from here on out as he makes his way to win the Cy Young, like Bob said. Okay.
All right.
You know what? I like being wrong the other way, Matthew. I like saying Ramos is and never will be, and then he proves me wrong. It's way better that way now that I think about it.
It is. It is. You want them to be better than what you predicted.
Yeah, this is. I don't feel good now. I'm nervous now. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Maybe we should reflect on something positive.
Okay, like the Vagabond series?
Yeah, like putting the beat down on the stupid Vagabonds. Matthew, I boldly predicted last week at the end of the show that the Giants would probably go 2-1 while they did not keep one Jacob Wilson in check. And I was wrong on both accounts.
Yes, you were.
They swept those losers, and they kept Jacob Wilson in check until Sunday when he was He was 2 for 4. But yeah, they did what they needed to do in dominating fashion. But now I'm just going to get out of your way because, game 1, Logan Webb was dominant.
Yeah. Logan Webb was great. He was great.
Yeah, but he gets overshadowed. That's just what happens to Logan Webb, right?
We can come back to that, but I really want to talk about someone else.
Okay, talk about him.
Wilmer Flores. And you may not know this, Ben, but I am a huge Wilmer Flores fan.
Oh, really? You like Wilmer Flores?
I do. I know, shocking, but
yeah,
I love
no
Wilmer.
Idea.
And when he came up, with the bases loaded, I knew good things were going to happen. And he hit the grand slam, and I was dancing in my living room, be like, woo, woo, woo. And then then you settle down. Then he came up again with runners on. I think there was 2 runners on the next time.
Yeah.
And he flew out. He didn't do anything. And I was like, okay, well, you can't expect that much. I mean, he already hit a grand slam. And then his next at bat, he comes up with 2 runners on, and he hits another home run. And then I'm like, oh, this is the best day ever. Wilmer Flores.
It was a Wilmer, in fact.
Yes, it was. It was. And he that tied him for the major league lead or the National League lead, I think, in RBIs or whatever. And then I was like, okay. I mean, Wilmer is amazing. This is the best day ever. Wilmer is doing great. And at that point, we're cruising. And then he comes up later in the game. Nobody on this time. And he says, Matthew needs another thrill. And he hit another one. And that was the biggest one of the day. It was like a no-doubter on that one. That was the other ones were like wall scrapers. This one was 7 or 8 rows deep. And I was so excited. And I ran around my room screaming, Wilmer, 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 Wilmer. And then I did it for the rest of the night.
That's weird, dude. You know what was interesting about those home runs, though? The first 2 almost went exactly to the same place.
Yeah.
The first one went to the left of the A's fan in bright yellow. And I wonder about these people. I wonder about these people who are still coming out wearing their A's gear, full on in support. And I wonder how they feel about this organization. I guess these are the people that are still going to be fans when they go to Las Vegas, if they go to Las Vegas or Salt Lake or...
There are Raiders fans that have followed their team from Oakland to LA to Oakland to Las Vegas. It happens, dude.
That's fair. Okay. Well, anyway, the ball landed to the left of the man in the yellow sweatshirt. And then on the next home run, it landed just to the right of the man in the yellow jersey. And then the third home run was almost to the same vicinity, but it was deeper.
Deeper, yes.
For sure. I will say at the end of the game, he was tied with Aaron Judge for the lead in RBIs.
At the end of the game, yes.
At the end of that game,
yeah.
Yes. And that's it. That's all Wilmer did in the series.
No, that's not. That's not all he did.
No, it's not.
No, he had the greatest walk in history on Saturday.
That's right. In the game that was started by Landon Roupp.
Landon Roupp for Cy Young.
Roupp! That's right, Bob. That's right. Landon Roupp for Cy Young.
Bob, Bob? What is this? What is this?
Yeah, Bob, as much as I love your enthusiasm, both can't win the Cy Young.
Slow your roll, Bob. Slow your roll. All right. Anyway. And Roupp pitched really well. Maybe the best start of the season so far for him.
His career. I don't know. I don't want to go back and further, but he did great.
Yeah, and that was awesome. But it was a pitcher's duel with Roupp and the best bullpen in baseball, carrying the Giants side. And then the one guy that the A's signed so that they would technically be above the limit that they have to be above so that the other baseball teams can't force them out of baseball because they're stealing their money. Severino was pitching for the A's, and he pitched very well.
He did.
And so it was a 0-0 tie into extra innings. And then in comes, what's his name? Madsen Pillar? The guy that throws the super fast balls, the 104.
Yeah. Mason Miller was his name, Ben.
Right. That's what I said. Padson Tiller. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So in comes Padson. And he's throwing gas, and the Giants are just putting up super gritty at-bats. Well, the ones that got on base. Hey, Tyler Fitzgerald looked a little overmatched.
He did. It's been a while since we've seen him.
Who's because I don't blame him. But they get the Manfred runner, and then they get the next two guys on base, and then here comes your boy, WilFlo.
And and Mason Miller was throwing 102 to like Fitzgerald and all the guys, and then found another level and had every pitch to Wilmer Flores was like 103, 10, and at one point hit 104. And,
well, you gotta throw that fast.
And Wilmer was just spitting on those pitches. And the hardest pitch though, like right before, as he got deeper into the count, Mason Miller throws him two back-to-back sliders that are just, the first one was like right off the plate, and Wilmer just spat on it, man. Wilmer just was like, I take that slider. And
that was crazy. That was crazy.
And he just looks so cool. Like I love Wilmer, man. He just was like, yeah, that doesn't faze me, man. And then he just lets the last fastball go by for a walk, and it was the greatest walk-off walk in history.
It was astounding to me. That at-bat was astounding. Mason Miller was throwing absolute filth, and it was flaming filth. And, Matthew, like, I know that this would never happen, and it's a kind of ridiculous scenario. But if I was up there, first of all, there's under no circumstances that I would ever be up there, because as we know, I don't even know how to hit a baseball. And I don't know how to explain to somebody else how to hit a baseball. But so let's just say that I was up there. Second of all, I'd be crying. Why did I do? Why am I? Whatever it is I did, I don't want to be here. How fast does he throw? 104. That would have been me. But let's say I got past that. I'm swinging at that slider. You know why? Because everyone on the planet would have swung at that slider. Like,
well, yeah, it starts off in the strike zone, and you already have two strikes. You got to protect. You got to be swinging at that, right?
Yeah, he knew it was coming. And I got to tell you, Matthew, this is just a side comment. I feel like the Giants know it's coming a lot this year. I think they may have upped their espionage game.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they have. And I will point out, they did have a runner on second. So maybe something was going on there. We know for a fact that Bailey got caught stealing. Well, he wasn't stealing signs. He was just looking into the guy's glove.
Yeah.
Because that idiot was just showing it to Bailey. Yeah, and then he walked off the mound after he hid the ball and was like, "Oh, I'm so tough." Way to go, moron. But anyway, that was weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the best walks I've ever seen. And it was one of the most exciting walks I've ever seen. And I want to ignore the fact that basically the Giants won a 1-0 game by advancing a runner who did nothing to get on base and then walked him in.
The Manfred runner giveth and the Manfred runner taketh away. Yes.
Yeah. And it has taken away from us a lot, so this time it giveth. And I accept. That was very nice. And then today, Matthew, as we record this podcast, Justin Verlander goes on the mound. You know, the guy who was hexed by Robbie Ray.
Yeah, and still hasn't broken the hex.
That's right. And he's out there looking for his first Giant win.
Verlander was born before Google.
Wait, what? Yes, Bob, because he was born in the 80s. Of course he's older than Google. Do you mean his career is older than Google? I see that you're staring at me and you don't want to answer because you misspoke. That's right. That's right. Okay. Yes, Bob. Yes. And again, I will repeat, that's because he was born in the 80s and he's super old. Yes, Justin Verlander's career is older than Google. And it started to show in this game, Matthew, because his velocity was way down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was. That's a little concerning when you're 42 years old. Then your fastball velocity goes from 93 to 91. I feel like I could be smelling a stint on the IL coming.
Ah, there it is. There it is. That's the only way they're getting him out of the rotation. That's the only way that they could do it and save face. And so, yeah, perhaps they will. Wow, that would be quite something if he went on the IL before he recorded his first win. But we will see. But you know what, Matthew? You know what didn't happen in this game?
What's that?
Wilmer Flores did not do anything heroic. But
Okay. It can't happen every time, okay? All right? Sometimes another player has to, step up, and someone did.
Right. That's right.
Heliot Ramos.
That's right. Who has been stepping up. He's been stepping up all month. Heliot Ramos is on fire. And anybody who thought he was never going to be this is obviously an idiot. But, Matthew, we're always giving the love to the offense, and we're always talking about the starters. But you know who the real core of this team is? The real heroes are.
Yes, I do. The bullpen.
Yeah, the bullpen.
It's amazing, that they just keep, whoever they pump out there just keeps just mowing them down. And today, I think the average, they pitched what? They pitched 5 innings today because Verlander left in after 4. And I think the average number of pitches the pitchers threw in relief were 9 pitches per inning. I mean, that's how dominant they were today.
Well, and then Camilo, who relieved Logan Webb, was the only reliever to pitch on in game 1, struck out the side, I think, on 12 pitches.
Just nasty.
And he was as good as I have ever seen him in that game, which was notable for him because those used to be the kinds of games that he would hate to be in.
Right. Non-leverage situations. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And he just came in and was just throwing absolute gas. And on and on and on, right? This whole bullpen from top to bottom just keeps rolling out the zeros. So yeah. I wonder, Matthew, does that mean Spencer Bivens is jersey worthy? Because it's time to move on, Matthew. It's time to get to our second segment of the show. We're going to tell everybody who the stars are and who the stars aren't, because there are right and wrong answers to this, and your opinions don't matter.
First of all, Ben, there are Giants fans out there, to answer your question about Spencer Bivens, that will love to get in deep into the lore of Giants, right? And they will proudly wear a Bivens jersey because no one else is wearing it, all right?
Yeah, a Bivens jersey will look pretty good on your back 10 years from now.
It will. People will be like, oh, respect. Yes, Spencer Bivens. Yes.
But you probably would have had to have that custom made, because I don't think that you can even walk into the dugout store and get a Spencer Bivens jersey.
No, they're gonna politely point you online for that one.
Yeah. So, of course, I'm joking. Of course, your favorite player is your favorite player. And if you want a Spencer Bivens jersey, then you should get a Spencer Bivens jersey. And I really do think you should. You should do it. Go. Get it now. Just go online and buy it. But Matthew, this isn't really about the jerseys. This is about the players. And I want to talk about who are the actual stars on this team. Who are the guys that are carrying us day in and day out? And this isn't about who your favorite player is, blah, blah, blah. This is about who are the absolute studs that when you begin to build your 2025 Giants jersey collection, you start with these guys.
Okay, that's a fair question, and I think obviously the answer is Wilmer Flores.
I just said you can't pick your favorite player. Like, what? I just said it.
Dude, he leads the major leagues in RBI. Okay, you can't dispute this.
No, you can't.
Okay?
No, you can't. You can't. I mean,
Wilmer Flores, he keeps us up. He's going to get MVP votes.
He is going to get MVP votes. I mean, who's probably ahead of him right now? It's Ohtani is always on the list, and I can't. There's probably at least one other guy who is probably a more obvious choice. But Wilmer is definitely going to get votes, and not like down ballot votes. He's going to get big votes if he keeps playing this way all season. I mean, I agree. I agree.
Okay, so then don't give me crap about Wilmer Flores being being jersey worthy. He's definitely jersey worthy.
Okay, well, good pick.
So who's yours?
My
who are
first
you
pick
picking?
is Camilo Doval.
Oh my God! You just said we can't pick our favorite players.
Matthew, I only make the rules to anger you. I don't make the rules for me to follow. Like, buy whatever jersey you want. I don't care.
He's not even like our closer, and you're like going for Camilo Doval.
But that's because it's cool. It's cool to have like the setup man, the fireman, as you, because what it shows is how intelligent of a baseball fan you are. And if there's one thing that I want to show off to the world is how intelligent I am.
Absolutely.
No, but this is an interesting question. Because, you're right. He's not the closer. So let me ask you this. Is Ryan Walker jersey worthy right now?
No, not right now.
Yeah,
not
I
yet.
agree. These hiccups he's had in the early season have really kind of derailed that whole thing.
You need a couple of really good reliever closer seasons to be jersey worthy. I think he's. Because the only closers that we're gonna see at Oracle and in the stands are guys like Rob Nen and Brian Wilson, and, those guys that have been through it.
Right. Agreed. Okay. Well, so let me ask you this then: what if you're a young fan who wants to put on a legitimate jersey, right? And because, you like the whole Spencer Bivens idea because that's really cool to you. But you're like, no, I want to represent somebody that's actually like one of the main guys. But is maybe on the younger side, is establishing themselves, somebody that you're confident is going to be there for years to come. But he's your guy, not your dad's guy, not your uncle's guy, not your, older brother's guy, but he's your guy. Who do you got?
Well, I think there's only one answer to that. That's Heliot Ramos.
Agreed. Yeah.
You could go. If you're, I guess you could go Patrick Bailey, maybe if you're really like catchers or rule kind of thing. But you really need somebody that's going to be offensive minded, and Patrick Bailey isn't them. So I think Heliot Ramos is the answer.
Yeah, Bailey is like, okay, look, no, you bought that 2 years ago when he came out and had that really hot streak to start his career. That's when you got the Bailey jersey. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to all the. I'm not saying he's not valuable. He's extremely valuable, but I'm sorry, you just don't put the name of the guy, the all defense no hit catcher on your back. Like you just don't do that. So I agree. Ramos, Bailey is okay for those of you who like that, but no. All right. Well, I'm gonna pick a guy completely different. Obvious. Like if there's one jersey that you need to have to show that you are a true Giants fan, and you're only going to buy one because your wife is like, you can only have one, or your husband's like, don't you have enough Giants gear? And you just don't want to start the whole thing, and it's just like, so you just have to have the one. What's the one that you get? And I'm going to say, it's obvious. Just everybody say it with me. It's Logan Webb.
Logan Webb, yes, agreed. And we don't just say that because his mother follows us on Twitter.
That's true.
I'm sure she's listening right now.
Yeah, hi, Mrs. Webb. Hi, Mr. Webb. Hi, Mrs. Birdsong.
That's right.
Hello.
Caca.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I really apologize in the future when it gets awkward when I say things about your children that maybe you don't want to hear because it's going to happen. But yeah, hello. But
Hello.
yeah, Logan Webb.
Okay, yes, Logan Webb, absolutely. Face of the franchise, leader of the pitching staff, Logan Webb. Be here for another, at least 5 years. So yeah, Logan Webb's the guy you buy a jersey.
But what if, Matthew, you want the new hotness?
Well, you got a couple of options.
You do, and yeah, I'll take the one that you don't take.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously the obvious one is Willy Adames. He signs the
Yes.
richest contract in history or whatever, and he's a great player and he's got lots of energy, and so he's jersey worthy just because he's going to be around for a while, and that if you want a jersey where the player is going to be around for a while, that's a good investment, right? You're going to get a Willy Adames jersey for sure, and with Willy, you'd probably get the City Connect because that would be like that. That would be the guy to have the City Connect.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't know that I would go City Connect, but I do like the jackets, I must admit. I know I was not very kind to the City Connects, but I like the jacket with the glove on it. Because it's kind of understated, but I like the look of it. Anyway, but yeah, Adames, City Connect, yeah, do that. Do that. Okay, which means then, of course, I have to take the Chapman. And Chapman is definitely going to be the home whites. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with a Matt Chapman jersey. I mean, he's going to be around for a while. He's been a good Giant so far, steady as it comes. So yeah, Matt Chapman, jersey worthy for sure.
Okay, Matthew, what's the one jersey that you have to get to be the cool kid, but might be it to the point where if you want to be the contrarian, you don't get it because you don't want to be the obvious guy or gal?
Well, that's Jung-Hoo Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm getting the Jung-Hoo Lee in the Korean script.
Okay.
I think that would be
right.
Be cool.
Do they have that?
They do. Of course they do. I mean, it's not sanctioned MLB wear, but it's, why not?
Right. I've been seeing a bunch of YouTube videos about how it's better to get the knockoff jerseys because they're better quality than the official jerseys.
They are. They're better. You can't see through them.
Yeah. Okay, so that all aside, folks, you don't actually have to get the jerseys. But okay. Well, Matthew, we're running out of time, but I do want to ask you, who is your dark horse pick? And I know we already went with the Spencer Bivens one, but that's got a lot going on to it. I wouldn't call that a dark horse one.
Yeah, no. My dark horse is Yaz.
Oh.
Like, the name, Yastrzemski on the back. I mean, that's one. He's the longest tenured Giant. He's been around for the good and the bad. I think there's a lot of fans that connect with him. And I know there are some that are tired of him. But if you're a true Giants fan, you got to recognize Yaz. And I think that's a good dark horse. Like, that's respect. If somebody's got a Yaz jersey on, I'm like,
yeah. I mean, just the fact that it's YASTRZESMSKI is pretty cool. Just to have that written on your back is pretty cool. The fact that there's all of the history with Carl is also cool. And the fact that he was such a good baseball player and loved being a Giant, I think that's a great pick. But here's my dark horse.
Okay.
T. Rogers.
I'm assuming you mean Tyler Rogers.
I do. Like, I mean, this year it would just say Rogers. I guess last year it would have said T.Y. Rogers. It would have. Yeah. And so, yeah. Because, like, first of all, nobody does it weirder. Nobody does it nastier. Nobody's just more like clockwork, just goes in and just gets it done and just confounds hitters of every skill level. And then represents the bullpen, which is the strongest part of this team. And, it's like, it's the perfect counterculture, but you're still part of the team name to have on your back. Everybody's going to go like, Rogers, really? But then they're also going to be like, respect. Yeah. I like it. So there you have it, folks. Those are the jersey-worthy Giants. And those are the only right answers.
Unless you really love a player and you.
Matthew, did we just go through and just pick all the obviously good players, the best players? Is that what we just did?
We probably just did. Yeah. But, there's if you love another player, then by all means, get the jersey.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple of, the things that are interesting by omission, right? But, and Mrs. Birdsong, I'm really sorry that I didn't put Hayden's on there, but, it's not that I don't, it's not that I don't like him. I think he's great, and I'm really excited for his next start, but, it's not like, I can't caw every time, you know what I mean? It's just, anyway. All right, Matthew, it's time for us to wrap things up and talk about the Kansas City Royals.
Coming to Oracle on Monday. They're actually a good team, Ben.
They are a good team, and they got really good starting pitching, like really good. Their bullpen just never pitches because their starters are just so good.
So the trick is to get to the bullpen.
Yeah, and they have like the best young player in baseball. In Robbie Schmidt Jr.? Robbie Schmidt
so.
Jr., I think that's his name. Yeah, Robbie Schmidt Jr. And they'll be coming into Oracle. They are 26-22, tied for third in the AL Central and third in the AL wildcard standings. Ooh, worthy opponent.
The American League Central is very similar to the National League West in terms of like the teams that are bunched up.
Okay. All right. Now, so Monday is Robbie Ray win day.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how good the starting pitching is for the Royals because we have Robbie Ray on Monday, and that's just an automatic win. Book it.
That's right, and I agree with you 100% this time. Yes.
Okay, don't even get on me when, like, if he gives up a couple runs in the first because they're going to come back.
No, in fact, if they lose, it's my fault for agreeing with you.
That's right. And Tuesday, Ben?
Yeah.
That's right. Hayden Birdsong makes his long-anticipated 2025 debut.
You wrote out here, be prepared to hear caca throughout the stadium. Matthew, I don't think I'm going to be there Tuesday.
No, but our Giants listeners, Giant Cocktails listeners who are there are going to be yelling out caca every chance they get. I know they will.
I don't know, Matthew. I was there on opening day, and I was the only one caca.
There were other people who were like ready to join in, though, Ben. I think they just needed a little nudge. So this.
Well, that nobody joined in. It was just me.
Folks, Ben did stand up and loudly yell caca when they announced his name on opening day.
And people laughed at me.
Most people were like,
which was great. I loved it. It was great. I loved it. People laughed.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Oh, yeah, Bob. Yes. Yeah.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Oh, well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you, Bob. Today I am drinking the cocktail with the name. I am drinking a cocktail that is named Orgasm.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
That is Orgasm. Okay?
There's nothing wrong with that, Ben.
I am drinking a cocktail.
Okay, there's nothing wrong.
All right, yeah, because I just grabbed a bunch of bottles and I knew I could make something out of all of these things. What is in the Orgasm? Well, it has an ounce of Bailey's, an ounce of Amaretto, and an ounce of Coffee Liqueur. You put that all into a rocks glass with ice, and then you just give that a gentle stir, and you enjoy. And it's sweet and creamy, and yeah, I know that there's a lot of you that don't have any of these things in your bar and would never, and that's fine. But I really like this. It's actually very good. And that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. The Orgasm.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It's really good, actually. Yes.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking a classic here on Giant Cocktails called the Elder Flores, which was an original that I created back in 2023, 2 years ago. It's got 2 ounces of gin, 5 to 6 mint leaves, 3/4 ounces of Elderflower Liqueur, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of lime juice, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. You're going to add the mint leaves, the Elderflower Liqueur, and simple syrup into a cocktail shaker and gently muddle and releasing the flavors of the mint. But don't grind it too much. You just want to tap, 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 get those flavors out from the mint. Then you're going to add the remaining ingredients with ice and shake until well chilled. And you're going to double strain because otherwise all the mint pieces and stuff will start coming through. You're going to double strain into a chilled coupe glass and garnish with a mint leaf. And it is a delicious homage to the best player in baseball, Wilmer Flores. So that's what I'm drinking, Bob. the Elder Flores.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Yeah, it is. And before I tell you that's a wrap, folks, I do want to recognize some of our listener feedback, including on Apple Podcasts, where we got a couple of reviews over the last couple of weeks. And honestly, we didn't see them until yesterday, so sorry. But first is from Ellie Marie, who the title is That Cocktail Sucked. And she wrote it, or I'm assuming they. I don't know your preferred pronouns, but always an absolute riot to listen to. If you have even a little interest in Giants baseball, or even if you don't, give it a listen. The banter is peak and the cocktails are flowing. Cheers. So that was from Ellie.Marie. The next one was from Buster Posey's burner account, which thanks, Buster.
Oh. Wow. Wow.
Wrote, simply the best Giants podcast. It says, and then he says, this is everything you could ever want from a Giants podcast. They even have Bob. What more could a man want? Please never stop this podcast ever, please. I look forward to it every week. If it were to end, I don't know how I would go on or how to feel. If Bob doesn't tell me what to think, who do I listen to? Truly, it is the best. That's a great cocktail. And
What?
Bob, what do you think of Buster?
Buster's drunk.
Yes, I'm also
you,
realizing
Bob.
that we need to have more Bob because he's really popular on this podcast.
Yeah, well, we worked him in a lot today.
We did. Bob was
Way
busy.
to go, Bob.
Also, just
Fictional
shout out to all
character.
those on YouTube who have left comments on some of our episodes, including F Toasty 1984, Scott, and Killa Noez, and also Reese Romero 519. All of you guys leaving great comments, so thank you so much. Folks, you could also do the same. You could leave us some great reviews on Apple Podcast or Spotify. You could leave us comments on YouTube as well as Spotify. Don't forget to rate us, give us a 5-star review. It's greatly appreciated. You can also find us on the socials. Anywhere you type in @Giant Cocktails, that's where we're at. As Ben said last time, if you can't find us, that means we're not there. Ben, it's been great chatting with you this week. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Tell him Bob sent you.
What?
Bob, he's getting a
Cheers,
little big
Matthew.
head, man.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. What was that, dude?
I don't get paid enough for this.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, man, that Bob.
You got to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
Forgot. Sorry. Too distracted by Bob. Bob gets a big head now that everybody's all like, oh, I love Bob. I love Bob.
That's the best part of our show, Matthew, is the fictional character that we created.
Hey.
That is voiced by a guy we found on Fiverr.
Well, you know, Pavlovich and Kuiper don't have Bob. Ben Kasprick
right.
doesn't have
That's
Bob. Just
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Locked On, no Bob. Thompson to Clark, no Bob.
No Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. All the other podcasts, the guy that just talks about the prospects, no Bob.
No Bob.
No Bob. Bob's the best.
Bob is the best.
Yeah, even though...
I agree.
No, dude. No, you're not allowed in the back. No, not back here, dude. Not back here. No. Not back here.
I need a new gig. Somebody call my agent.